Hello everyone, Silent here. Welcome back to another episode of Decidedly Vanilla Season 5. It is episode 29. I hope you're all doing absolutely fantastic today. I'm doing pretty well myself, and I'm gonna tell you straight up, I don't have like a real solid plan for this episode like I usually do. However, I do have a list of things that need to be done around the base. And the first thing that we need to do is actually throw some more potatoes into our villager breeders so that we can hopefully get some more villagers, more librarians, and just more good trades for our trading hall. Again, more of a long-term project, but getting more villagers is always a good step to filling up that trading hall. So just gonna toss these in here, and then we can move on to some actual proper projects. And I immediately noticed something that needs to be done. I thought I turned off the melon and pumpkin farm, but apparently we have all of the melons ever, so I just need to go ahead, fill up my inventory with some of these melons, and then just kind of craft all of these things so that we don't have all of this being full, because if all of these are full, then all the melons that we're harvesting are actually just being thrown into lava. Kind of sad if you think about it, poor little melons. That always is a sight to behold. All right. Oh god, I didn't leave room in my inventory for actually having some of the proper melons. So the way that you need to do this is only have 9 free slots in your inventory for the melon slices and fill everything else up with the actual melon blocks. That way you have something to craft into. And I'm really curious how many entities that is. That is 600 entities. Wow, that is more than like most other farms we have on the server. Kind of ridiculous. Very, very bad for lag. That was just a little bit chaotic to actually craft everything. By the time I got nearly done crafting, stuff started to despawn. It was a little bit chaotic, but thankfully we have this shulker box loader right here. So now we have 2.5 or so double chests of melons. That is fantastic for trading. That's going to go wonderfully with our pumpkins as well. As you can see, we have way too many pumpkins. So that is that little experience done and over with. The next thing that we're going to work on is actually moving, renovating, and modifying this little farm right here. This is something that we built completely freehand on stream. And this is basically just a little cocoa bean farm. And as you can see, for how janky it actually is, it does work. So as you can see, it basically just clocks itself because of that piston arm. So we can change this and make this a lot better without it clocking, and that would be awesome. I think the only thing that we really need to do is make it so that this piston here moves that log, and then it will no longer clock on its own. But yeah, we're gonna move this system right here over to the other side of the base, right in this room right here, where we have like all of the other micro farms ever. I'm thinking we might be able to just barely fit it in this space right here. And that is going to be a little bit of a challenge to fit it in there, but I think that's perfect. So I'm probably gonna have to change up the design, make it actually proper, and then just squeeze it in right there. So this system works pretty well, and it just kind of fits right back here in this corner. And I know before you mention it, everyone with OCD, including me, I could not get this observer to face any other direction. It is stuck facing that direction, and so it's like orientated this way instead of, I know, it's a problem, and now that I mentioned it, a lot more people are gonna be annoyed by it. You're welcome. Anyway, this is a very simple system. So as you can see, once we plant in the cocoa bean, the observer fires, bone meals it, and then a couple ticks later, we activate the piston, and that just moves it down. It's a little bit slow, but honestly, this is so much better than building a large, overcomplicated, unnecessary cocoa bean farm when, honestly, when do you really use that much cocoa beans? Maybe if you want to feed a whole bunch of parrots, but I already have like 7 stacks, and this is more than I'll use in this entire series, most likely. Brown, I just don't use that much brown for anything. So yeah, this little farm right here is our entire cocoa bean farm for this entire season. If I have to build anything bigger, it's probably going to be for another person. Oh my. I completely forgot that we gave a whole bunch of potatoes to the breeder. And yeah, these guys, they've just been sitting here causing a whole bunch of lag. That is fantastic. So I need to go through all of those guys real quick before we do any other projects. I quickly grabbed a couple out of there because they were entity cramming, and we already got 2 guys that are better than what we have. So we got flame for 7, and we already got channeling for 8. So the flame for 7 guy is going to replace this guy that has flame for 8. I know it's 1 emerald, but he's completely undercut. And then this guy has channeling for 10. So now he'll only have silk touch. But we already have a whole nother silk touch for 5 guys. So just from the first 2 villagers from this, we're already replacing 2 villagers. Bad villager. Still a bad villager. Still a bad villager. I swear, there are no good villagers. You're absolutely terrible. How dare you think that you are a good villager? You're even worse than the last. Are you maybe a good villager? You're a librarian with fire aspect 1? Possibly, maybe, but probably not. The likelihood of you being a farmer? Very low. Shameful. Oh, we're out of villagers. Okay, well that was it. So out of 100 and so villagers, I'm guessing, we got 4 librarians. 2 of them, the 2 that I just showed you, had only the 1 good trade, and I've yet to trade out all of these guys. Alright, so we did end up getting Impaling 5, but it's for 40 emeralds. That's ridiculous, but we don't have any other form of impaling, so for now, you shall survive. But as soon as anyone else cheaper comes along, you are getting the boot, man. Just saying, not appreciating. Oh, and he's just gonna die. Oh, God, oh, barely survived him. Why? Did you guys have another baby in here? Oh, they did. Those guys, I swear. You can just, stupid babies mess up everything in this system. It's so terrible. How do you guys still have food? You've made like 20 babies in this system. It's ridiculous. There's only the 3 of you. You should not ever have enough food to make that many babies in here. It's ridiculous. I have not given you food. Now I have to get this guy out without him dying. Ugh. I swear, even when you have villagers in the most controlled of circumstances, they will find a way to make your life miserable in all the ways that they possibly can. Like, this entire system is meant to be completely fully automated, except like this little bit right here in the actual trading bit. But other than that, everything else is supposed to be automated, yet they still find a way. They still find a way to mess it up. Villagers, they are very special and very dastardly. And they're even trying to breed again. How in the world? I seriously have no clue how they have enough food in their inventories to breed again. Ridiculous. Alright, so I think I'm done with villagers for the time being. These guys are ridiculously ludicrous in their behavior and actions, and I just don't want to deal with them. They do not deserve my time. But there is one more thing that we need to deal with, and that is too efficient farms. So as you can see from our indicator lights here, we are out of shulker boxes for sugarcane, potatoes, and also carrots. I have put so many shulker boxes into these systems, and as you can see, we now have over a shulker box. That scared me. We have over a shulker box full of shulker boxes full of potatoes. I'm gonna do the math for that and just figure out how many potatoes we have and put that up on screen, because it's a ludicrous amount of potatoes. It's like 13, 14 double chests that I will never use. So we need to install some form of on and off switch for this system, mostly just for the potato and carrot farms. We already have an off switch for this. Down here in the lower depths of our base is where we need to start our project. And eventually I would like to build a little bit of a staircase right here going down to maybe a second layer for our farming area. But you guys know how I am with my decoration. I just love to procrastinate to no end. And yeah, basically right here we have the water stream system for collecting all the carrots and all the potatoes from our crop farms. And if we just go ahead and stand here for like half a second, you'll see that we basically get a non-stop flow of carrots and potatoes into our inventory. It really does a great job of backing up the storage system. So the idea that I have for basically churning off this farm is not necessarily churning the farms off. That would require a lot of redstone going in there, activating lights to increase the light level in the center. And I'm just not really interested in doing all that. That sounds way too complicated. So we're just going to allow these guys to farm around the clock non-stop. And basically what we're going to do is just trash the items before they get to our storage system. So I have a couple ideas here. One is that we could push a block in place right here and then remove another block kind of redirecting the water and redirecting the items just straight into a piece of lava. That would be a very simple and easy system, kind of generic as well. But I also had another idea, and that is maybe we can put it just straight up in this water stream right here. So I believe items should flow over that block if we just throw a bunch of items in there. You can see that they totally just float on over that. That is kind of ridiculous. Floating items are super OP. So technically you don't even need to be like at all proper when you build your water streams. You can totally just miss out on blocks. Fascinating. I'm curious how far this goes. I guess we can try it on that block, see if any items fall in. Wow, they just super like glide right on over that. Maybe the very last one will make them lose some blocks or lose some items. Okay, yeah, once you get to the very end, then they actually start losing items. So it does depend on the actual level of the water. And here is my idea visualized. So as normal, we can kind of just throw infinite items in here and they will all glide right over this hole. Nothing will ever fall down there. But as soon as we want to not have any more crops go into our system, we flick the lever, the glass pane extends, and because of the hitbox of the glass pane, all the items line up and then they fall directly into the hole, and there's no way that any items should ever be able to get past that or like scoot through the side. And even if they do line up against this edge and go that way, they shouldn't be able to make that one block jump right there. So pretty fantastic little system. Just need to put some lava down there and that'll be all there is to it. And then when we unflick that, it'll just kind of resume normal function of the farm and we'll start getting crops again. Fantastic. I will now not need to load up 1,000 shulker boxes every day into our storage system. It was getting very, very taxing. So we now have our camera account kind of sidekicking with us. It's kind of interesting. I've never done that using OBS before, but if we flick this lever, then we will see the piston extend and all the future crops go into lava down there. Really quite satisfying. I enjoy it. And then if we unflick the lever, then the pane gets retracted and we get all of the crops into our storage system. Pretty fantastic little system. And mostly I just wanted to show this up because I like using OBS and doing interesting edits. Anyway, moving on to the next project. And wow, I'm glad that we installed that off switch because I just put in 3 shulker boxes into the system and we already blew through them. Like what? Crazy, I don't understand. I'm gonna put some more in there, but the farm is now off probably permanently because I don't foresee myself using 60 shulker boxes of crops anytime soon. I actually just thought of another project that we can do in our farming area, and that is putting something right in this area right here. So we are trying to keep everything nice and even and like, spaced out properly. But the Sugarcane farm has gone over its boundaries just a tiny bit, just a little bit. So we kind of need to fill this extra little space right here. And there's really not many farms that fit in this kind of space. However, there is one kind of farm, and that is a cacti farm. And now I know what you're thinking, a cactus farm, how generic, how much cactus do you even need? None. I need like no cactus. Well, actually I need a little bit. I have like 10 cacti to my name. And I stole all that from Pixel Riffs. Please don't tell them. Anyway, so I need to basically build like a tiny little cactus farm, maybe like 4, 5, 8 plants right in this area, and that will actually work out perfectly for lining up the edge of this area and making it much easier to decorate and kind of finish making everything nice and even in this building area. So I think right here would be the next pillar. So we have whatever 7, 8 blocks to build with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we have 7 blocks to build with. I think we can definitely turn that into an efficient little cacti farm. And here it is in all of its evil glory. I have just barely enough cacti to plant this thing out. So hopefully it actually starts kicking out some cacti somewhat soon. And yes, I know this is very annoying at the front here. It's not even whatsoever. I really did try with the water sources to get it so that it would be even at the front, but there was always dead spots where items could just like sit there forever. Kind of pretty annoying, and I don't think there's really a way to fix that. Although, I guess, you know what, think about that right now. We do have a couple glass panes on us. We could just throw one of those there and there, and maybe some carpets in the center there. and that would kind of collect all the items, right? And also maybe prevent that spawn space. Yeah, I guess that does work. Cool beans. So anytime we need a little bit of cacti green, this is the farm to come to, and hopefully it gives me back my investment on cacti somewhat soon. I really need that back. One thing I also did is also bring it forward. So because we needed to chunk align all of these crop farms, this hallway got pushed to the side quite a bit. As you can see, this is where the original pillars should have been, but we had to push it back by like 4 blocks. So with this cacti farm, I'm bringing the entire hallway back to where it should be, kind of just lining it back up. And I feel like that's the best decision for future projects. So I just thought of one more little project that we can do on the server, and it's honestly surprising how many little things you can find to do in Minecraft when you're just not really looking for a particular project. But so far we've done like 3 or 4 different farms this episode. Kind of awesome actually. Really good to get all these different projects finished up. Anyway, so what we need to do is actually modify the sugarcane farm redstone a little bit, because what happens is we launch the flying machine and the collection minecarts at the same time, and because some sugarcane lands on here, and by the time the flying machine flies across, some sugarcane grows again, we actually lose quite a bit of sugarcane every time this harvests. So what we're going to do is add in a very simple activation circuit at the back end of this. Basically just using an observer and a little redstone line going straight into this system right here to launch the carts. Right now we have a very strange and convoluted and very expensive system as well. So we're just going to go ahead and remove all this and let me install the new system, and you guys will see what exactly I am talking about. And isn't that system just tiny? It's completely independent of this hopper clock here, so if we wanted to, we could move this hopper clock all the way up to the front over there, because there's no reason for it to be back here anymore. But basically what this is going to do is, as you saw there, it's going to detect when the flying machine comes back. So it just came back right now, meaning that this T flip-flop activated, activating the monostaple, and just sent out the minecarts to collect all the sugarcane after a full harvest has been completed. That means no more loss from our farm. But basically when this flying machine activates again or starts flying to the other end of the farm, it's going to pull this redstone block back, and then the flying machine will hit that wall down there, come back and finish harvesting, land on this wall, and then activate this system again, and then it will send the minecarts. So a very simple system, and I just randomly thought about that as I was thinking about other things, not even trying to find a solution to this problem. And it's honestly just goes to show that sometimes taking a break from a problem or just coming back to it later or just not worrying about an issue is sometimes the best way to find an easy solution. For an entirely unplanned episode, I would say we actually got some pretty good projects done and had a decent time doing it as well. Do let me know your thoughts down below. Now, there is one thing that I want to say, and that is sorry for the shorter, kind of messier, unplanned episodes lately. I'm kind of in the middle of doing a lot of stuff IRL and actually preparing to do 5 or 6 videos a week. If you've been around the channel, then you'll probably know that we typically do 4 videos a week. But preparing to launch a new little series and a couple other things as well. And I just changed my streaming schedule. A lot of stuff I want to do on Whispercraft and some stuff I want to do on the Patreon server as well. And yeah, so that's kind of leading to temporary shorter episodes and just different plans and different episode lengths and random chaos on my end. But the good news for you guys is that this is a temporary problem, and we will be getting a lot more videos on the channel in the coming weeks and coming months as well. So you guys can look out for 4 to 5 to 6 videos a week, depending on how everything goes. I've never done this before, but I'm very interested to see how this turns out. Everything should be standard quality and length and just all the good stuff. But it's going to be a lot more videos on the channel, 50% more. It's kind of an increase. So yeah, it takes a little bit of planning and, preparation. Cartographer, come on, man. You're trying to psych me out. We haven't gotten a single good villager from this, did we? I do not want you. I don't know why you game over here, but I will send you to the nether. Anyway, I would also like to say thank you guys very much for the support on the channel and the series lately. I truly do appreciate it. We are approaching 11,000 subscribers, and that is just kind of mind-blowing. And again, just thank you all so much. Truly do appreciate it. I interrupt this botched outro to tell you that we just got 3 amazing villagers in a row, which is pretty fantastic. We got ourselves a sharpness 5 for 22 emerald trade. We got ourselves a depth strider 3 for 13 emerald trade. And then this guy has himself a Riptide 3 trade for 15 emeralds. 3 amazing villagers in a row. Very, very fine. This system is really, really starting to pay off. Just many more hours of grind and we will have ourselves an amazing villager trading hall. But I hope you guys did enjoy this episode. If you want to help support the video and the channel, then make sure to leave a like. Again, I appreciate all the support on the episodes. And if you want to catch the next one, then maybe consider subscribing so that it maybe gets delivered to your subscription box or you maybe get a notification. Sometimes YouTube decides to work. But again, I will see you guys down in the comment section and in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. And then there was silence.